What's up, guys? I'm Mike D'Antonio, founder and CEO of StockedUp, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have a lot of information to go over in tonight's episode. We have the NASDAQ at record highs right now, and we have Apple closing stores at the same time. So that is very interesting to see, considering that Apple is obviously in the tech sector, but they have a huge influence on the market overall. And Apple fell a little bit today, yet the NASDAQ hit record highs. So that's pretty interesting. We're going to be covering more about this situation later in the video. We do have a lot of interesting news to share with you guys today, and we have a couple really big runners to analyze for tomorrow. So there's a lot of good things to pay attention to in tonight's video. Make sure you stick around to the end of the episode when we're going to be talking about a $5 million options trade that expires tomorrow. Okay, so this is important news, and yeah, we have a lot of great things to go over. Don't forget to watch the video to the end. If you guys are new here, don't forget to subscribe to see our daily videos on your YouTube homepage every single day. So with that being said, Tom, what happened in the market today?
Yeah, the market, you could see it actually ended up closing down with futures. So we opened up to close up yesterday, and then futures ended up down. And then right as market opened in the morning, we just had a ton of green candles, a bunch of good volume come into the market, and the market ended up coming back up across, bouncing right off the 100 SMA. It was a pretty good bounce by the market, and then we actually held the highs all day long, and a lot of that had to do with the tech sector. Like Mike said, we have the NASDAQ right now at all-time highs. $10,310 was the all-time high on that. That's with all these tech stocks running up, especially like Facebook, Apple, Netflix. Netflix had a very good day in the market. That probably had a very solid thing to do with the NASDAQ running up today.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And then we even had Apple fall a little bit towards the end of the day when the news came out about them closing more stores, right?
Yeah, the Apple ended up falling right at the end of the day. And you could see even the S&P 500 fell at the end of the day too, as well as I believe the NASDAQ even the NASDAQ tapered off at the end of the day. So I wonder if Apple actually brought down the market at the end of the day, or if Apple was just following the trend. But that's some really good news on Apple closing more stores. Sometimes that can even help these companies, guys, whenever they're closing retail stores, because right now, obviously, retail might not be doing very well, so they might be losing money by keeping the stores open. That's obviously why they might be closing them.
True. And then also keep in mind, we are in a crazy market where bad news equals good news, and the market rises. You know, we've had some of the worst news in a long time recently, and the market shoots up. And then sometimes when we get good news, now the market falls. So keep in mind, we're also in just a crazy market. So in regards to Apple closing stores, I remember watching this in the middle of the day. And I remember right when Apple started to fall, that's at the same time the market overall started to fall. So I would say that Apple kind of led the way on that. And right now we have futures up around 26 points right now, which are pretty much flat. But we did have a tiny little sell-off towards the end of the day. And even just a little sell-off in right after market close. But nothing huge, nothing really too significant. And then
there was even some news that came out today about New York is going to actually start closing all their restaurants and bars in anticipation of the extended COVID breakout. And we can see that the S&P 500, I wonder if that could also be a reaction to all these states closing, because California is also going to be closing, or they're actually pausing their reopening stages and rolling back a lot of the stages that they've already implemented. So California might be leading the way for a lot of other states that are going to start doing this as well. And I think that could definitely hurt the market.
See, here's the thing. Originally we had Texas and Florida. They were like the first two to pause the reopening phases. Now we're shifting into New York, and now California, and I believe New Jersey. So it's just a matter of time before the COVID cases keep on growing and these states are forced to really pause their reopening phases or even go back a phase or two. Because I remember with the whole plan, like all the states have like the reopening in phases, right? And I know they're just pausing them right now, but I would not be surprised to see some states like actually like reverse and go back in those phases if the growth continues with the COVID cases. What do you think?
Yeah, especially the bigger states, and especially the states where they have the most cases, like you said, like Florida, Texas, California, and New York. Those ones are definitely the key states, but there is other places like Chicago is pretty bad too, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah, I am in Chicago. It is pretty bad. Illinois is one of the worst infected states. I don't think it's the worst, but it's up there. But yeah, I think it'll be important to watch overall. And if these states continue to close down or pause reopening phases or even reverse their phases, you would think that the market would definitely take a beating from that. You know what I mean? That's not good for the market having the economy shut down again. That's not good news.
Yeah, and one other thing is that whenever the market does come down again, they will probably start passing more of these payments or more of the
Oh,
what do
the
they call them, Mike?
stimulus, the stimulus.
Yeah, more stimulus packages. They're going to pass another package, and Trump even came out today and said that he claims that he wants to give more money in the next package than the Democrats do to Americans. So that's kind of crazy. Last time we got 1,200 a person. We could end up getting maybe 1,500 or 2,000. I don't know the numbers right now, but that's good to hear that they want to give more money. But one other thing is that could be more of a pump to the market as well, because if we have to start reclosing more states and states start closing down again, that's whenever they're going to start doing more small business loans as well. So they're going to start extending loans and extending these payments. So that could be more of a pump to the market. So if we do see a short pullback here, I would definitely expect them to start passing more stimulus packages.
True, true. And I'm curious is like, let's say they continue to, like, the feds continue to pump and more of these checks get sent out. I'm very curious to see how that's going to affect the economy in the long term, like with inflation and just like interest rates and things like that. Because, just printing all this money and all this artificial stimulus, like, that's obviously not going to be good for the long term. Like, you can't just print unlimited money. You know what I mean? Like, even though the economy might need it right now and it might be the smartest thing to do, I think it can definitely have an impact for the long term in a not so good way.
Yeah, and I just brought up the debt clock right here, and you can see we are 26. What is this trillion dollars? It's that's over a trillion, I think, $1 trillion in debt. That's a lot of debt, and this virus has really sent us way lower in the debt spectrum. We were kind of sitting. We were still growing our debt, but not quite at the rate we were, and now we're just totally with all this pump and everything back up, we're totally ruining our debt right now. Really, we're just stacking on trillions of dollars per year. And I don't know what's going to happen whenever we finally have to start paying interest on this and paying this.
Well, the good thing is that interest rates are low, and there are, like, obviously when the dollar is like the world's reserve currency, you do have a lot of what do you call it? You have a lot of I kind of like a pro. You have pros and like things to fall back on when your dollar is the world currency. So it's not the worst thing in the world, but obviously all this debt and I think just all this printing of money and artificial pumping can definitely affect the dollar in a bad way for the long term, like with inflation and things like that. So yeah. So now to talk about like the new trend in the market. Like it seems like recently, you like the market's just so weird, right? We see some very crazy candles on the SPY. We see horrible news in the market rises, and we see great news in the market falls. In the market, I'm sure a lot of you guys can notice is just like what's going on, right? And I'm seeing a huge trend recently, and what we're seeing is we're seeing 1 to 2 stocks, maybe 3 stocks, just like explode one day, right? And then those explosions tend to continue. And it's almost like we're in like a bubble almost. So like you look at Amazon right now, right? They're exploding up like on a daily chart, right? Amazon on a daily chart. They have one solid green day yesterday, right? Then we have another explosion up. You look at Spotify, right? Had a solid green day on June 17th, right? Explodes up for 2 more weeks, right? That's an explosion. We have even, what was it? We had Apple a couple weeks ago, right? We had Apple on June 22nd, explosion up. We had Apple on June 9th, explosion up. We have Square right now, right? We have Tesla this week, right? What I'm trying to say is like, look at, we have Tesla on June 29th, right? Huge green day, and it continues for 2 days right now. Might even continue tomorrow. But we're in like a phase of the market where it seems like the only thing like that is working right now is to kind of like chase these hot stocks, you could say. And I'm not saying just to chase any hot stock, but we're seeing a lot of continuations right now off of stocks that are making insane moves, like Tesla breaking through record highs, like Amazon breaking through record highs. We have Netflix right now exploding up. We have Square right now exploding up. We have Roku exploding up. So like that's kind of the new trend, and it really seems that is where the money's at right now. You
Yeah,
know?
definitely. And it's all just tech stocks. And tech stocks are what are going to lead the way for the future, guys. People have been saying it for years that this was going to happen. And I think right now, this should definitely be the telltale sign that since these stocks recovered more than any others, that's definitely going to be the sign that these stocks are what's going to lead the markets in the future. And for a while, it was kind of like oil led the markets, and then not, and then we kind of transitioned into like the .com phase, and now we're into like a full-on like tech phase, like anything online in tech, like Facebook or anything that deals with it, like Nvidia or
Even
AMD,
Tesla. Even Tesla.
Spotify, Tesla. Yeah, Tesla, very good innovators in their industry, obviously coming out with electric cars, and they come out with cool things too. Like it's not just like they're a boring company. Very very good futuristic company. I really like what they've done with their sector, and I think that a lot of other companies could start implementing more futuristic stuff coming up in the future as well.
Well, I think the main takeaway is if the market does fall, well, actually, regardless if the market falls or if it doesn't, I think the main leader right here, instead of like the SPY, which is S&P 500, it looks like it's the NASDAQ, which is QQQ for the ETF. NASDAQ, like we said, record highs right now. They had over a 50% recovery from their lows, right, back in March, right? While the S&P 500 had about like around a 40%, like it was around like a 10 percentage point difference, right? So NASDAQ is really leading the way, which is tech stocks. So if the market does fall, I'm definitely going to be loading up on QQQ shares as well as just other tech stocks like Apple, Tesla, even. There's a lot of them. Spotify. So keep that in mind. And now with the member of the day. So now we're going to get into the momentum plays. But before we do that, we're going to give a little shout out to our member of the day in the Discord channel. So Tom, if you want to pull up our member of the day real quick, every day we give a little shout out to a member that really stands out. If you guys want to join our free Discord community, you can click the first link in the description down below. And for today's member of the day, we have Chin Chan. And pretty much he's been in the Discord group a little bit now, and he made a post today in close to market open, and he said from his entire Robinhood like history, he was down about 20%, right? Now he's only down less than 2%, and he played 2 of the free day trades, right? And he made his own Facebook play. So I've seen Chin Chan in the group for a little bit now. He's doing really well, and I'm very happy for him. An amazing post, and keep up the great work, and let's definitely try and get that Robinhood portfolio in the green. So awesome job. Keep doing what you're doing, and things look good. So thank you for being in the Discord community and sharing positivity. So now with the momentum plays for tomorrow, and as you guys can probably guess, one of the top stocks for today, we are looking at Netflix. We have 5 momentum plays for you guys here today. We are just looking for these plays to continue up, okay? So, for example, we're looking at Netflix. Tom, what levels should we be watching for Netflix?
$488.50.
So $488.50. If Netflix breaks above that, we'll be looking at Netflix in a bullish sense. With the next play, we have Square.
Yep, Square, watch for them to break above $117.50, also to the upside.
Yep, so you guys heard Tom, again, looking to the upside. And then we have Roku.
Roku, watch for them to break above $129.50.
$129.50, again to the upside. And then we have Amazon.
Amazon, the big boys, watch for them to break above $2,895.
Uh-oh. Yep, you guys heard Tom, again to the upside. So Amazon had a huge day, record highs. And then with the last play, we have W, which is Wayfair.
Yeah, they've been doing very well. Also, watch for them to break 222.50.
222.50. So you guys heard Tom again to the upside, in where Wayfair actually broke record highs too. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
Both,
they have a chart very similar looking to Netflix, I think.
let me see. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely pretty similar. So don't forget to check out these stocks. We are only considering playing these if they break the levels we list. You can't just jump on these plays blindly. You have to definitely consider the breakout levels we listed. So keep that in mind. And now for the unusual options activity for today. We have a $5 million on today's watch, and this option expires tomorrow, okay? So someone traded about $5 million worth of the Apple 370 strike calls that expire tomorrow, July 2nd. So that's very important to know. But before you guys just hear that, pretty much that does not mean buy Apple 370 strike calls. Do not do that. Don't just blindly do that. Pretty much right now is someone could have very well shorted these calls, meaning they want Apple to fall. So don't just buy Apple 370 strike calls, because Apple will more than likely fall. So as of how it stands right now, it looks like whoever made this trade shorted these call options. They're pretty far out of the money. Apple has bad news. Apple's already falling a little bit in after hours, and the play expires tomorrow. Because of those main factors, there's a high chance that whoever traded this option shorted the calls, meaning that they want Apple to stay the same or fall. So in order to play this, I would highly recommend watching Apple at the open tomorrow morning. If you see upwards momentum, then maybe consider the Apple 370 strike calls. However, and this is the most likely scenario, if you see downwards momentum on Apple, I would consider getting Apple puts. So keep that in mind. It most likely looks like someone wants Apple to stay the same or fall tomorrow, but that can change at open. So a lot of good stuff, a lot of stocks moving right now. Futures are still up about 25 points, so they're pretty much flat. And then now with the questions from the previous episode. So with the first question, we have, let's see, we have CJ saying, check the news on TTOO and the after hours jump. So let's take a look. TTOO, I know this is one of the stocks that a ton of Robinhood people are buying right now. They definitely had a huge run up yesterday in after hours, but it looks like it's kind of flat right now on like a 5-minute chart, an intraday chart. This looks like a huge roller coaster type of play.
Yeah,
So,
it says that they announced a COVID-19 test kit and jumped 29% in after hours yesterday.
oh, really? Huh. Yeah, so
I
that's
mean, that's pretty good, but you can see they definitely lost their momentum pretty quickly. That's a pretty sharp drop back down. I do kind of like how it's bouncing off the 1,000 SMA though, but this would definitely be a risky one, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, big time. With the next question, we have, let's see, we have Chris saying, long question. Can someone shorting millions of dollars worth of options possibly own enough shares to manipulate the price? Like possibly own millions of dollars of shares and sell them to cause the price to drop before their options expire. Does that make sense? So absolutely that makes sense. And to answer your question, it depends on the stock. Like if someone owns millions of dollars of stock in like some penny stock or some stock that doesn't have a lot of volume, then yes, you can definitely do that. And I'm sure some people probably do that. However, if you're trading a $1 trillion company like Apple or Amazon, then that's not really possible. So I mean, it's possible, but you have to have billions and billions and billions of dollars. Like I'm sure right now Apple is worth quite over $1 trillion. I mean, I'm sure it's probably around $1.5 trillion right now. I'll look up the market cap right now just to get an exact number. But pretty much, long story short, you have to have a lot of money to do that, especially on a very expensive company like Apple. So like the
At
market
1.6 trillion.
$1.6 trillion. So like even if you had $10 million, that will not do anything to Apple because like it's worth $1.6 trillion, and there are about 35 million contracts traded each day. So if you take 35 million contracts each day and you multiply that by 364, you have what is that? $12.7 billion traded every single day just on Apple. So you would have to have multiple billions to make that work. So awesome question though. I'm sure a lot of other people had that question. And let's see. With the next question, we have AZK saying ONTX before FDA approves cancer phase 3 drug. So let's take a look. ONTX looks like a penny stock. Looks like it's not moving too much. It can run. It's on a decent trend right now, but it looks like it's not moving too much. Let's see. With the next question, we have, let's see. We have Mahi saying how to enable fib and moving averages on the TD Ameritrade platform. So, Tom, if you want to give a little tutorial on that real quick.
Yeah, definitely. All you have to do is just go up to the top right of your screen and then just click Studies real quick. And then you just click Edit Studies right here. And then it'll bring up all the studies you have will be right here on the right side. And you can just click the X to get rid of the ones you don't want. And then to add any, you can just search in this search box up here. Like, let's just say I want to search fib. Okay, fib is not going to be on there, of course, but
so fib is actually a drawing tool, but so
okay, yeah, that's what it is. Fib retracement. It's going to be right there. Nope, right there. Oh, wrong one.
Oh yeah, one up. So yeah,
I want to.
the simple moving averages are the indicator, and then the fibs right there, like Tom has in the chart, is a drawing.
Yeah, so, and you can just kind of click and just plot your levels with the Fibonacci tool. And then to do the simple moving averages, it's pretty simple. You just go to Studies, Edit Studies again, and then you just search up there Simple Moving Average, and then you just click Add Selected down there. And then you'll just have to come over here and click the little settings, and then just change your numbers right here, 100, 200, 300, 500, and 1,000. We will have a link down below to a more in-depth video as well.
Yeah, for sure. With the next question, we have Short saying, honestly, think about it. Yes, the Rona cases are going up, but what they are not saying, and I think everyone is catching on, is that the death rate is going down. I think everyone is starting to see right through it and not fearing what the news is saying. I believe it's a distraction for political reasons now. So I'm not sure if the death rate is going down. I'm sure it is. I just haven't heard anything about it, but it makes sense. I mean, I think the biggest thing about the cases rising is if the economies continue to shut down. Like, if we have all these states reclose or pause the reopening phases or even reverse a couple of phases, I think that is what's going to do the most damage out of everything. And that's
just definitely me too. And there's been a whole bunch of conspiracies going around right now about it being a political thing. And the thing is that it may be a political thing, but what it probably happened was that there was a virus and then they just accelerated it to make it a political thing. But either way, guys, it's going to affect the markets in a certain way. So we just have to trade it that way. You can't really look at the politics of it too much because obviously we don't get the full story. And I wish we did, though.
Right. I'm sure there's a lot of things that are going on behind closed doors with the economy, the Fed pumps, the Rona cases that the public doesn't know about. And I'm sure I think it's ridiculous how it's kept a secret, but it's definitely interesting to pay attention to. And I think the biggest thing with the information that we have access to is if the cases keep rising, which it looks like they are, then I think the biggest threat out of everything would be states reclosing down, because that would have the biggest economic impact. And I'm just talking about that from a trading perspective. So keep that in mind. And with the last question, we have Luis saying, I bought puts on Tesla at 1,087 and never got stopped out. They still have around 3 weeks till their earnings. They should see some downside here. So take a look. Yeah, Tesla definitely had a pretty big update today. They're going up a little bit in the after hours right now, but hopefully that reverses for you, and hopefully your puts can go in the green, and earnings can definitely be a very volatile time. So I'm definitely rooting for you. So with that being said, Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or any insight for the market tomorrow?
Yep, the last thing I'm going to go over is Pinterest. I went ahead and called this out in Discord today. It had a fantastic wedge pattern or triangle pattern to the upside, or you could even call this a bullish flag. I went ahead and got some calls on this, and you can see it is playing very well off of the technicals that I've drawn, and that's what we like to see whenever we have technicals like this, and it's playing very well right now. So I got some 24 calls for next week's expiration, looking for a big rise on this tomorrow. So if you see a pop above 2365, you could definitely be bullish on Pinterest tomorrow as well.
Awesome. What expiration did you get?
Next week, next Friday, which is going to be the 10th.
Awesome. All right, good stuff. So yeah, with that being said, guys, hopefully you guys learned something from this video, or are going to be watching something in the market tomorrow because of this video. If you guys gain value from this video, Tom and I would really appreciate it if you hit that like button. We really appreciate all the growth the channel has been experiencing. This past month, we gained over 10,000 subscribers, and we just crossed 14,000 subscribers yesterday. So thank you all so much for the crazy support. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for supporting the channel through the form of hitting that like button, subscribing, and commenting. So Tom and I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. And if you guys want to see our YouTube videos on your YouTube homepage every single day, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and also consider joining our YouTube notification squad. So pretty much when you hit that subscribe button in the link in the description down below, no, actually, when you hit that subscribe button down below, you're going to have an option to hit a bell icon. If you hit that, you will be one of the first ones to know about when we release a new YouTube video. So with that being said, guys, if you have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. Other than that, thanks for watching.